So I grew up going to church. I was in a house where unless you were deathly sick, you had to go to church. And sometimes I tried to squirrel my way out of it, but my parents always knew when I was playing games. But for the most part, I loved church. When we went to church, we'd see friends, we'd see family, we'd eat good food, and we would sing. Like a lot. We'd sing camp songs, we'd sing contemporary songs, we'd sing gospel songs, we'd sing songs in other languages, we'd sing so many songs. But the songs that we would sing the most, and the songs that my parents, especially my mum, loved the most were hymns. She loved hymns. And one of her favorite hymns was a hymn by Isaac Watts, "O God, our help in ages past." And the first verse goes like this: "O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home." And Isaac Watts wrote this song, and it's a beautiful song. And I've come to the stage of my life actually now, when I think about life, I can actually start to think about life in decades. Like I moved from one country to another country 10 years ago. I moved from one continent to another continent 25 years ago. I came from one state into the planet 35 years ago. And yet there's some of you thinking, what? That's nothing, 35 years? I have kids older than you. I have chairs older than you. And you've been around and you can count time in quarter centuries. And yet none of us could say that we have been around since ages past. But God says he has been around in ages past. He has been around in different centuries. He has been around for millennia. He has been around before time existed. And Isaac Watts speaks about this God who was around in ages past and who will be with us even into the future. And so in this metrical paraphrase of Psalm 90, he picks up this ineffable quality of God, and he tells us that we cannot find hope in our present circumstances or in ourselves, but only in God. And here we are, right? It's 2020. The year started. We thought 2020 was going to be a year of vision. We thought 2020 was going to be amazing. And yet all of us are sequestered in our homes, going on our phones, refreshing Twitter, refreshing our IG pages, trying to figure out what's going on with COVID-19. We're clicking the refresh button on our computer, wanting to know what the governor has said, what the president has said. Life is just different. And I think even those of us who might consider ourselves to be introverts, whisper it now, are starting to feel this itch, this dull ache for humanity, for flesh and blood. And yet, as we stand in this place looking for hope, I come back to the words of this hymn that my mother loves, "Oh God, our help in ages past." And I think God has been such a faithful friend. God has been such a true friend to us. And I wonder if God at this time is pointing us from Psalm 90 also to Psalm 91, where the psalmist begins, "He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shelter of his wing," pointing us to a God who is our refuge, our ever-present help, pointing us to a God who is with us and who is ever faithful and ever present. And so as I think about this hymn, and as you are in your homes, and as you are with your families, or perhaps as you are on FaceTime or you're on Zoom connecting with people, remember that God is faithful. That God who was with us in the past will chart us through troubled waters into a future that is full of hope, and it's full of light, and it's full of love.